Hey guys, so today I'm doing a Q&A video. And I've kind of wanted to do one for a while. I just didn't know how to go about it, like as if I had done it by myself, if I had done it with Matt, what timing. And we were gonna do one a couple months ago, but then we kind of changed our minds. We came up with a better video idea. You know, not many people do it as much anymore, really, just right when you start up your YouTube channel. I mean, we've only been doing it for a little while, but still. Anyways, I took some of the old questions that I asked on my Instagram story, just to, if anyone has any questions, leave it down below, and picked just some questions from like other YouTubers I've watched do this. So, I don't have too many questions because I don't want this video to run on too long. But yeah, let's get started. So the first question I got, this one was from Instagram, is what was your favorite trip or vacation and why? I would have to say it would probably be my trip to Paris and London with my two best friends, Sophie and Hallie. And I feel like just the experiences we had there, just Paris and London are one of the two most iconic places for fashion, and growing up, that's always been something that was so big for Sophie, Hallie, and I. And we had like the amazing experience to go to different London Fashion Week shows. We saw so many different iconic places. We saw the Big Ben, we saw the London Eye. When we were in Paris, we saw the Eiffel Tower, and you know, food was very good. But just like those memories, traveling with your best friends, is something that like you'll never forget, and I know I won't. And it was just such a fun time at such a young age. You know, not a lot of kids get to travel and do those types of things at such a young age that we did it in, I believe, sophomore year? I think it was sophomore year. And when I was in high school, and I was so grateful, and without Sophie and Hallie inviting me, I never would have been able to see things like that until I was much older. So I am so appreciative for that trip and everything that came of it. Have you ever had a nickname? I've had a lot of nicknames growing up, actually. My biggest is Katie, which is I got stuck with in the 4th grade because I was new to my school at the time, and there was a lot of Catherines in the class and in the grade. So the teacher's just like, oh, we're gonna call you Katie, okay? And I was like, oh, okay. And it kind of just stuck through high school until I went to a new school junior year. But yeah, that was kind of my big one. And then I've had Kat, Kathy, Katie, Chim, Chimmy, K-Tilt, K-Titta, KCA. Only a select few knows what that means. But KCA, I've had Peaches. That's what my parents called me because when I was a baby, I had really puffy, like peachy pink cheeks. Yes, I had that nickname years and years before. The word peach and the emoji peach had a separate meaning, so that's not the reason they call me that. But there's probably so many others I'm just not thinking of at the moment. What is being in a long-distance military relationship like, and what has it taught you? Well, obviously we're not long-distance anymore. We've been living together since August. But, you know, it wasn't always easy at times. It's not as glamorous as it seems in the movies, but it's also not awful. You know, like, being apart really sucked. Missing each other is really hard. And being apart for so long and only seeing each other sometimes once a month, every other month, there were times we went a couple months without seeing each other. And I think the longest when Matt was in basic training was about 6 months. And, you know, just remembering this isn't the last time you're gonna see them. You're gonna see them again, you're gonna go visit, you're gonna have a great time, and just, you know, keeping up conversation, you know, trying your best to be positive, I guess. When Matt was in basic and I couldn't really see him a lot, I definitely was having a hard time wanting to go out and have fun, you know. And as soon as my friends finally dragged my butt out of bed and was like, let's go shopping, or let's go walk around, let's go get lunch, let's go do this, let's do that. Definitely spending a lot of time with your friends in a situation like that definitely helps. Not only to keep you entertained, but to keep you positive, to have fun. And what was the other part of the question? And what has it taught you? Definitely to appreciate the time that you have with somebody. Don't be sitting there on your phone scrolling through Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever it is you scroll through. You know, just live in the moment. Don't be so worried about taking pictures or videos or doing certain things. Like, just spending time with the person that you care about so much, and just, you know, just having a great time. That's kind of what I learned through the whole process. Definitely a normal long distance relationship is different than military, or, you know, it really just depends on the situation, but across the board, any long distance relationship is just to appreciate the time you have with them. What was high school like for you? So, high school was very interesting for me. You know, it can kind of go both ways. Like, my first 2 years of high school was not great at all. But my last 2 years of high school were amazing. You know, it's weird. There's no in between. It was kind of bad and then it was amazing. So I moved to my hometown, which I grew up in for many, many years, in the 4th grade. I moved there to help take care of my grandmother, who couldn't live at home alone anymore. And I moved to a new school summer going into 4th grade, and I lived in a very small town, so everyone kind of had their groups, their thing, you know, and everyone's just also very awkward at that age. Like, everyone, you know, you're gonna go to middle school soon, everyone just doesn't know how to act around each other. So, and also, people are very shy at a young age, at least most kids are, and unfortunately I was one of them. And, you know, I was never that person that would just go out of my way to talk and be talkative and be outgoing. I was very shy for a long, long time. So I, you know, being the quiet person and people not knowing much about me, it gave a lot of room for people to assume things from what they see, from what they hear. You know, you're the new kid, and, you know, like I said, such a small town, rumors stick, and they stay along with you for a long time. You know, I would still hear people talking about things I did or said in the 4th and 5th grade, or the 6th grade when I was a senior in high school, or when I was a junior in high school, or a sophomore in high school, you know? And I never really tried to make a ton of friends, you know? It never really meant a lot to me to have 50 friends, a ton of friends, different friend groups, you know? I had a good group of friends outside of my high school that I had been friends with for many, many years, and I just thought that's good enough for me. So I kind of hung out with them on the weekends and after school, and then I just came to school to, you know, get my work done, survival mode. That's how it was my first 2 years of high school. Then I wanted to kind of have a fresh start, try something new, a school maybe that was very different than the one I was going to. So I transferred to a private school a couple towns over, and it was so different, extremely different. Just the fact that everyone was from all over the place. It's not like everyone was from a small town. Everyone's different. It's not like everyone's rich or everyone's in the middle or everyone's poor. Like, you had a variety of so many different people. It's like not the same people that are going through the same things or live in the same town or have the same circumstances. Like, it was so different. And what I did is I wanted to do cheerleading. I'd always dreamed of doing cheerleading at school, and unfortunately my hometown like school system didn't have it. So I joined the cheer team, thought I'd meet people before school started, have some friendly faces on the first day, and that's what I did. And there are some people on that team that I still am so close with to this day. And just, there's so many people that I met at that school that were just so welcoming, so warm. Like, what I liked about that school is in the morning, everyone used to hang out in the cafeteria before school, and I could walk in and I could sit anywhere. Like, I knew people all over the place. Like, people wouldn't stare at you and give you weird looks if you sat with somebody different each day or, you know, moved around. That wasn't weird. Yeah, it was a little bit cliquey like every high school, but it wasn't nearly cliquey to the way it was in my old hometown school. And, you know, the biggest thing about going there was I met Matt and, you know, made friends that I am so close with now. And obviously I miss so much being away from home and everyone else being in college. So yeah. And then unfortunately, due to some circumstances, I didn't return to that school the next year. For my senior year, I went back to my hometown school. You know, just my junior year, because I was new and it meant so much to me to just have a great time, meet people, have new experiences. You know, my schoolwork really didn't mean a lot to me, to be completely honest. I just cared more about cheerleading and going to the football games on Friday and hanging out with Matt and hanging out with my girlfriends. Like, I really didn't care. And unfortunately, that kind of kicked me in the butt at the end of the year, and I had to return back to my hometown school. But what I learned from going to another school and finally, you know, just biting the bullet and being social, complimenting someone's jacket or someone's shoes, asking this girl where she got her eyeshadow from, or, you know, being on cheerleading and being social and laughing and meeting new people, is I had a whole new perspective when I came back to my hometown school for my senior year. And the amounts of people that I got so close with in that year that I had never even spoken to in the years that I had been in that school system, like, it was just such a fun time. I had so many memories, such great memories that I made, so many great friends that I had, and honestly, I'm really proud of how it all went, how I really changed and grew throughout my high school career. Like, there was definitely a lot of improvement and change. There were speed bumps, there were amazing things, but you know, that happens to everybody. So, what is my biggest fear? Not to sound like a baby right now, but the dark. The dark and being alone. Like, not like, oh, I'm home alone, or like, you know, like alone, like if I was alone for super long time without Matt, or like, you know, feeling alone in something that's happening in my life, or just something that I feel like I can't share with people, that I feel like I'm facing by myself, you know, those types of fears. What is your earliest childhood memory? Now, this came right into my head as soon as I got this question. Honest to God, I was in preschool with Sophie and Hallie. We were in the same class. That's how we met when we were super little. And we used to, so they would have nap time at the time. Like, every day there'd be nap time, I think, for like a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour. And everyone used to sleep on this like carpet. You'd pull out all these little like blue thin pads that everyone would lay on. But Sophie, Hallie, and I used to go sleep in like the reading corner, like just us three, like a little like mean girl group. We weren't mean girls, but like we would sleep away from everyone. And we used to have this girl in our class that we really didn't like, and she was super mean to us, and she would like pull our hair and like call us names, and like, you know, she used to like only hang out with the boys. So she used to try to like come and like sleep, like have nap time in that same area, but she would just be mean to us, so we would like kick her out. And we never actually slept. We would just sit there and we would like pretend we're sleeping, but we would just be talking the whole time, and our teacher would have to tell us to be quiet literally every 5 minutes, because even to this day we couldn't stop talking. Like, we just always have stuff to talk about, and it never gets old or boring. that's just who we are. This just so happened I put this in this order, but who are your best friends and who's been your best friend most of your life? So this one's tough because obviously Matt now is my best friend. We're around each other all the time. We tell each other everything. We are so close. Some people even think it's weird how close we are. But I think the longest in my life, like I said, Sophie and Hallie, we have been best friends literally since the day we met. Like, we started talking and, you know, giggling and making jokes when we were, what, 2 or 3 years old? And we were just best friends since then. Like, nothing's changed. We can go months without seeing each other, and the next time we see each other, we're talking like no time has passed. Like, it's never boring. We're always having a great time. Like, the amounts of secrets that the three of us have, like, is probably, like, it's just stupid, like every best friend. But to clarify, Sophie and Hallie, they're twins. People always ask, like, oh, is there one you're closer with than the other? And I would have to say no. I'm equally as close with both of them. Like, they're both, everyone says they're very similar, they look the same. I've never agreed. They're similar, but they're also very, very different. And that's what I love about them, is that they're not just one person. Everyone seems to compare them to each other as being one person. But me knowing them the way I do, they're both very different. And, like, you know, if I ever need advice, I get different things from both of them. Same with if Sophie asks Hallie and I for advice, or if Hallie asks Sophie and I for advice. Like, it's always different, or we can agree on things a lot. But also, too, people always mess up their names. And what's so crazy is I can look at pictures of them as babies and, like, when they're little, and I know exactly which one's Hallie and which one's Sophie, even to this day. Like, my mom has messed up their names over the years, and I'm like, Mom, that's embarrassing. Remember their name. But it's, like, not her fault. Some people really can't tell them apart at all. But yeah, those are my best friends. What is makeup to you? So I have been doing my makeup almost every day, well, at least before quarantine. I've done it almost every day since probably the 6th or 7th grade. I'm not the best in makeup. I'm also not that bad. I think I look kind of cute at times. But when I first started wearing it a lot, I had, like I mentioned in the video of Matt doing my makeup, I had severe acne on my face, you know, on my chest, on my back, everything. And, you know, I could pull my shirts up and wear t-shirts and hoodies and, you know, cover it up temporarily on my body and on my face. It's not like I could put a hood over my face or a bag at school. I wanted to feel pretty at times. So it first started as something that helped me with my confidence, you know, to hide my acne and kind of bring out the features that I already had that were, you know, being that my pimples distracted from seeing. So then over time, when it slowly started to go away and I didn't really have it anymore, I just loved doing it. The fact that you could, you know, look however you wanted and however made you feel best, and just how much it takes. Not like, you know, it takes forever. I mean, there's times I could be sitting doing my makeup for like 2 or 3 hours, but it's just, you can make yourself look how you truly feel, and how like it makes you just feel really confident about, you know, walking out the front door. You can look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm super pretty. But I'm not saying it takes makeup to be, like, super stunning. It's what society deems girls to be pretty. But I'm so jealous of the girls that can look themselves in the mirror with literally no makeup on and be like, hey, gorgeous. Me, I'm like, yikes. I mean, there's times that it's all right, but just, I love it. It's fun, you know? just the amounts of different products in the world that you can try, the different colors, the different, you know, textures, the different formulas, the colors you can combine and mix. You can make custom colors by mixing things. It's just so cool. I swear I don't have coronavirus. There's a fan on above me that's like pushing cold air in my face and it's drying out my throat. Don't worry. What is your favorite family tradition? It's not really a tradition, but every year on Easter, my mom sings the song Easter Bonnet. I forget who it's by, but every morning when we wake up to open our Easter basket, she'll be singing it and then she'll have us sing along to it and she'll take videos of us, and we've done that like for so many years. And it's super cute and funny, and it's just, it makes my mom super happy when we all sing along to it, and it's such a cute song. I don't know, it's just something I thought of. This one was asked on Instagram, but what was your first impression of Matt? So I kind of touched into this in our very first video, kind of sitting down and talking about ourselves, but I was, as I mentioned, the only junior in a senior pre-calculus math class in my junior year. And all the seniors would sit in the back, and I would either sit in like the second or third row. No one dared to sit in the front row. And I always kind of sat more towards the front because I didn't want like a senior to like beat me up for sitting in their seat. So I always sat one up and one to the right, two up or one, you know, I sat a little bit off to the right and forward from Matt. I forget, I used to remember, it's kind of late right now, so my brain's a little fried, but I always used to hear Matt laughing, joking around with the guys in the back, or the teacher would have to go tell him to put his sweatshirt in his locker, because unless it had the school's logo on it, or if it was a polo that was from the school, you weren't allowed to wear it. But obviously Matt would wear his own stuff to school and he didn't care. So either our math teacher was telling Matt to take off his hoodie and put it away, to put his backpack in his locker because we weren't allowed to carry around backpacks, or Matt would always stretch super obnoxiously, and then he would like fling his arms in the wall behind him because he didn't realize the wall was so close to him. Like kind of like the low-key class clown, but he was also very shy. Like I could hear him laughing and everything, and I knew he was probably talking to people, but until Matt talked to me in person for the first time when we first started dating, I didn't know what his voice sounded like. He like never talked in class, ever. And I think he was like also like sweet and like kind of a flirt. Like he was kind of using those funny like pickup lines type of things, like really bringing out the big guns to impress me with his pickup lines. So yeah, it worked, clearly. We're married now. But yeah, that was a little bit of my first impression of Matt. Who knows me best? I would have to say it would be a fair bet between my mom and Matt, because there's certain things that my mom knows about me and Matt. It's just like two different things. Like my mom knows like all of my favorite foods. She knows like all of those weird little things that obviously all moms know. She knows like, you know, all these little like my sense of humor and the type of thing. Sorry, my camera shut off. Weird. But as I was saying, he knows like all my favorite binge watch shows that I've watched a million times. He knows like, I don't know, like it's just, I don't even know how to describe how well he knows me, but there are times Matt will know what I'm thinking before I even say it. Or if I'm craving a certain food, he'll be like ordering food and he won't ask me, and he'll somehow like get what I'm craving. Like it's really, really odd. Sorry, the camera was like, oh. Sorry, the camera was a little, sorry, the camera was a little like more off-center than I liked. Okay. What's the last show you binge watched? The last show I binge watched was Flashpoint, and Matt and I watched it, and it's a really cool show. It's about this team in Canada, the Strategic Response Unit, and how they go to like different, you know, situations, and they try to like negotiate and talk people down before more like lethal options. And it's really, really interesting, and also it's just really funny. It kind of covers, like, there's romance in it, there's comedy, it's thrilling, there's some mystery in it. Like, it's kind of, it covers all the boards. It's a cool show to watch with your significant other because, like, the action and the fun part, you know, some people may like, and then the romance, the mystery, the thrilling, like, there's just something for everyone in that show. And it's just fun, you know? It's interesting. What is my prized possession? I don't know where it is. It's somewhere over there in my nightstand. I just don't feel like getting it. But it's this little gold plated star, and it's about this big, and it has a little diamond in the middle. And my Nana gave it to me when I was super, super little, and she said that if I ever wanted to wish something so badly, if I ever wanted something so badly, or if I needed something, that I hold it close like this, and I made my wish, I kissed the star, and I put it underneath my pillow, and then I said a little prayer before I went to bed, and she said it would come true. And you know, it's not always about the most expensive thing that is your prized possession. It's mostly just like something that you have a memory with, or that's something super special to you, and that's that. What kind of music are you listening to right now? I kind of listen to all kinds of stuff, you know? There's some, what am I listening to, honestly? Let me look at my playlist right now. I have some Bozzy, some Justin Bieber, some Dua Lipa, some Billie Eilish, Madison Beer. I have a lot of Bozzy, actually. Just a lot. It's like really random. It's just a mix of all kinds of stuff. But yeah, that was my Q&A video. I probably could have answered a lot more questions, but I didn't want the video to run on for too long or to get boring, or what if I ever want to do this again with Matt and I have no other questions to ask? I used them all up in the first video. So yeah, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe and that like button, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye!